So in this video, I'm going to be comparing these two mice, the Razer Viper Mini and the Glorious Model O Minus, so that you could know which mouse is better for you. Now, I'm going to be talking about different factors of each mouse, such as aim, clicking, bridging, extra features, and price. Starting off with aim, we are going to be talking about the weight, shape / comfort, and tracking. The Razer Viper Mini weighs at about 61 grams, which honestly is very light, extremely light if I'm being honest, while the Model O weighs at about 58 grams. Now these both weigh extremely similar, so you're not going to notice much of a difference, but they are both very light. Moving on to the shape, I'm going to be honest, I really like the shape of the Viper Mini more than I like the shape of the Model O Minus. Now, this is completely up to you. This is completely subjective, so you might like the shape of the Model O Minus more than you like the Mini. But personally, I like the Viper Mini way more than I like the Model O, just because, as you can see, the hump of the mouse is more near the middle other than the back. Most people like to have their palms at least touching the mouse, and the hump on the Razer Viper Mini is on the back of it. So that's just one of the reasons why I do like the shape of the Viper Mini. I would say it's more comfortable, but it's completely subjective. Tracking, so pretty much how the mice glide on your mousepad. Now both of these have 100% PTFE feet, which means they are going to glide very easily, so I don't think any of these mice are going to have an issue with that, but they do have different designs on the bottom. For example, this one has 2 PTFE sections and this one has 4. I'm going to be honest, I think it's better on the Model O Minus just because there's less surface that's going to drag on your mousepad, but honestly there's not much of a difference. Now for clicking, I'm going to be going through normal, jitter, butterfly, drag clicking, and all the other weird ones like bolt, chainsaw, ball, etc. Now for normal clicking, both of these are really good. I'm going to be honest, the Razer Viper Mini has lighter buttons, way more lighter buttons than the Glorious Model O. You might like that more just because the ones on the Model O Minus seem way more tactile and satisfying to press, if I'm being honest, but it's just way easier to click on the Razer Viper Mini. Now for jitter clicking, which is the clicking that I use when I'm playing Minecraft, it's so much easier on the Viper Mini. Yeah, it's definitely so much easier. Like, because the buttons are more difficult to press on the Model O Minus, it's going to be less CPS when you're jitter clicking. For example, let me just go into the game real quick. As you can see, yeah, definitely when I'm jitter clicking, it definitely feels better on the Viper Mini. I'm getting it about 11, 12, and sometimes even 13 CPS on the Viper Mini, while I'm getting it about 9, 10 CPS. Just because I jitter click for a really long time, I find that it's easier to be more consistent while I'm jitter clicking. It's difficult to be consistent with my CPS when I'm jitter clicking on the Model O Minus, just because the buttons are harder to press. Now, this might be different for you, but for me, this is how it is. For butterfly clicking, okay, this is something that the Model O Minus is so much better at. Now, because the switches in the Viper Mini are optical, it's meant not to double click. That's part of the reason why they had optical switches, so that it could last longer and so that it won't accidentally double click on people. For butterfly clicking, the Model O Minus is going to be so much better for you. For example, let's go back into a single player world. I'm butterfly clicking at around 10 CPS, and this is like an average butterfly click for me. Yeah, it just doesn't double click. I'm trying to double click. I'm not really getting any double click. Now that I'm on the Model O, it's so much easier to butterfly click on this, if I'm being honest. Like, look, I could even triple click. Let me try. Yeah, I'm literally triple clicking. If you want something that's better for butterfly clicking, yeah, the Minus is so much better for you. I'm gonna be honest. Now for drag clicking, it's kind of the same principle. Since the Model O Minus can double click, it's going to be able to register way more clicks when you're drag clicking. Personally, I can't really drag click. I mean, I'm getting about 12 CPS sometimes when I'm drag clicking, but I'm not really that good at it. Now, if you're somebody like Betless Noob, on the other hand, you're definitely gonna find the Model O Minus way better for drag clicking. Yeah, it's way better than the Mini. I'm only getting like about 3 to 4 CPS, as you can see. So yeah, Model O, so much better for drag clicking since it could register more clicks. Same thing goes with bolt clicking, chainsaw clicking, ball clicking, all that other stuff. If I try to bolt click, which I'll try to do in just a second. Okay, let's try this out. Bruh, I just hit 50 CPS. I'm gonna be honest, Model O, so much better if you want to bolt click and stuff like that. I'm getting literally 9 CPS bolt clicking, not even. Yeah, okay, yeah. Model O, so much better for that. Okay, now we're going to be talking about bridging. Now, personally, the way I like to bridge is I speed bridge by timing it. Like, I don't rely on double clicks to speed bridge. Let me just try to speed bridge a bit here. Yeah, so I single click when I speed bridge. I used to double click when I was using the Model O Minus, but I just got way better at timing it. That's why bridging is not that important. But for others, like no shift bridge, like Breezely, etc., like I could kind of, nah, I can't really time it. I'm going to be honest, the Model O Minus is so much better for that. But yeah, the Model O Minus, so much easier to double click and so much easier to bridge as well. Like, I'm breezily bridging, no problem. Let me try to moonwalk real quick. Yeah, it's so much easier. I'm not good at timing it, but Model O Minus, so much better for no shift bridging. Okay, now we're going to be going over the extra features of both of these mice. Let's start with the software. Okay, so I'm opening up the Model O software. It's honestly very simple. Like, there's not many settings that you could do. For example, you could configure the left button, right button. You could configure all these separate buttons. There are different DPI settings that you could do. There are different lightings. There's one that I really like. It's the glorious lighting. You might not be able to see it too well, but it looks really nice. You can change the direction of the flow. There's actually a ton of different lighting options. You could change the LOD, which is lift off distance. So if you put it on 2 millimeters, for example, that's how far away it has to be from the mouse pad that it will actually like activate. So if it's more than 2 millimeters, it won't activate. If we put it on 3, for example, it'll activate 3 millimeters away from the mouse pad. I really suck at explaining, but I hope you guys are getting this. Polling rate. So basically, this is how much debounce time. This is literally the main thing. This is one of the main things you need if you want to get high CPS. Now, this is pretty much what allows you to register your clicks more. For example, if we put it at 16. Okay, as you can see, every click is a single click. Every single click is a single click. Drag click, 1 click. I'm barely getting 1 click sometimes. I can't even double click. That's why what you want to do is you want to take the debounce time. If you want more clicks to register, you put it all the way to 4 milliseconds. Now let's take a look at it. Yeah, now I'm getting triple clicks. Oh yeah, you definitely want to keep it at 4 milliseconds if you want to be better at no shift bridging. Anyways, that's pretty much all you could do with the Glorious software. You could also like set multiple profiles. Now let's head on to the Razer. Now this is the Razer software. Look at this. First of all, this isn't just for Razer mice, since Razer has so many things other than mice like keyboards, etc. I mean, so does Glorious, but it's just not as much as Razer. There are going to be so many different things you could do with this. There's literally Alexa. There's an Alexa option. What? There's a module for Alexa. If you have one of your devices plugged in, it should show up right here. If we click on it, you could configure all the different controls. So many options that I don't even know what they do. You could configure performance such as DPI, the frequency of data updates. That's what it is. This is what the polling rate is. Mouse properties, you could look that up. I'm too lazy to do so. Lighting. You could change the brightness of the lighting, which is really nice. There's a lighting effect that I use called reactive that makes it so that every click lights up. Doesn't this look actually amazing? There's so many other things you can configure. Calibration. If your mouse isn't working too well with your mouse pad, you could calibrate it with another one. You could change the lift off distance here. So that's really nice. There's so many other things in the software for the Razer Viper Mini, but that's pretty much all for now. Let's talk about the build quality. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm definitely going to give it to the Viper Mini. Most people might think that the Glorious Model O, it has better build quality, but in my opinion, the Viper Mini definitely takes this one. The cable, for example, definitely feels more quality than the one on the Glorious. I mean, this one is lighter, which is something you might like if you don't want it to affect moving your mouse a ton, but this one definitely feels like it's going to last longer. And plus, it's cheaper. We'll get into the price later on. If you do push against the sides of the mouse, you don't really feel anything like it's moving. Although if you do it on the Model O, you literally hear creaking. I don't know if you could hear this, guys, but it is creaking. Yeah, you probably can't hear it. Probably a bit too quiet, but yeah, the mouse literally creaks. The buttons feel really, really good on the Viper. No post travel or pre-travel. Side buttons, same thing. Very nice and clicky. I really like them. Middle button, it's pretty difficult to press, but like you might like that. Scroll wheel, I like it more on the Model O, but that's honestly all subjective. But yeah, the buttons on the Model O, you could see a lot of pre-travel, post-travel. Like look at this. Look at those side buttons. Let me try to put an angle where you guys can actually see. I'm pushing it in a bit before it actually registers the click. So you actually have to click it far in so it actually registers. Build quality, I'm gonna have to give it to the Razer Viper Mini. Now price. Okay, now pretty much this is probably one of the main reasons you clicked on the video. Okay, so the price. American, the Razer Viper Mini is $30, which is really good. First of all, this is not cheap quality at all. It's really high quality and really good, and I think most of the people that actually buy it like it. It's got 8,319 reviews, 4.5 stars, and it's only $30 American. Canadian, it is $40. Let's move on to the price of the Glorious Model O minus. Okay, for example, American, the Model O is $90. But like this mouse, American is $90. Now we move on to Canadian, which is where I live. Okay, I guess it's out of stock Canadian, but I assume that it's going to be around $100. I'm pretty sure I paid 80 something dollars, but this mouse is refurbished, so that's why it was cheaper. But yeah, brand new, I think this mouse would be around $100 compared to the $40 Viper Mini. I'm pretty sure you guys know the one to buy here. This video, you know, might not be able to tell, but this video did take longer to make than my other usual videos. So please leave a like so I know that it was worth it. I hope this helped you. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye for now.